Good evening, I'm Taylor Thomas with a CTV News update. Our region is bracing for some wintry weather tonight into tomorrow. Forecasters are calling for strong winds and heavy rain that could turn into icy conditions on area roadways. Maryland State Police advise motorists to stay home, but if you must go out, there are a few do's and don'ts.
Again, prepare. Give yourself extra time if you do have to travel. Again, monitor the roadway conditions. But again, this goes whether there's snow on the ground, ice on the ground, or not. Drive responsibly. Don't drive impaired. Put the cell phone down while you're driving, and don't drive aggressively. Monitor the speed limits, and also remember, the speed limits that are posted are for ideal conditions. So if it's marked at 55 and you're dealing with wintry weather or rain or what have you, you definitely should be driving slower than that. And then also give yourself extra space, 3 to 4 car lengths, in front of you, in between cars, so you have that extra space in case you need it for braking purposes.
A flood watch is in effect for Prince George's, Montgomery, and Anne Arundel counties. Now, if you have to travel, you can monitor state roads in real time at roads.maryland.gov. The falling temperatures could lead to pipes freezing. To avoid the mess that burst pipes can cause, here are some tips on what you can do to avoid a catastrophe. If you are leaving for the holiday, turn off the incoming water supply to your home to prevent uncontrolled water from being discharged. If you're staying home, let a tiny stream of water come out of the tap farthest away from where the water comes into the home. Keep that running until temperatures are above freezing. Millions of Americans will be traveling this holiday season. AAA Mid-Atlantic says nationwide 113 million people will head out of town for Christmas. In the DMV, the number is 2.5 million. Gas prices are way down. In fact, at $3.10 a gallon in Maryland, AAA says gas prices haven't been this low since October of 2021. For those driving, AAA says exercise caution.
That prior to this inclement weather forecast that we have for the next day or so, that tomorrow, Friday, the 23rd, was going to be one of the busiest travel days. So we certainly would advise travelers to check the weather forecast, depending on where they are going to or how far they're how far they're traveling. They may want to wait depending on what the weather is doing, not only here in our region, but in the area where they're traveling to.
All right, well, here are our latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. The Maryland Department of Health has confirmed more than 1,000 new cases. The county's positivity rate is at 15.49%. 10 Marylanders have died of COVID over the past 24 hours. 703 people are hospitalized. Prince George's County Board of Education Chair Juanita Miller testifies on the final day of her disciplinary hearing before the Maryland Office of Administrative Hearings. Miller says that she tried to establish a team effort when she was initially appointed as chair in January of 2021, but it was made clear a block of votes wasn't very collegial. Judge Richard O'Connors will have up to 90 days to determine if Miller should be removed from her position on the board. She faces allegations of misconduct in office, willful neglect of duty, and incompetence. Closing arguments will be presented on January 18th. Meantime, on January 12th, the school board is scheduled to meet and select a new chair. You're watching CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. Coming up, winter commencement day at Bowie State University. Details ahead.
Do you remember our first group photo? This is it. Smiles all around, even though we were all nervous.
Who could have imagined that our first weekend together would soon turn into a lifetime of memories?
You're an amazing young man. Your brothers and sisters really look up to you. They're a big brother.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
I ain't never felt so much love before in my life.
Good evening and welcome back. Prince George's County Police are looking for a missing teen. This is Kennedy Ridley. She is 16 years old and was last seen on December 21st at 8 a.m. in the 5200 block of Boydell Avenue in Oxon Hill. Police say she's 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighs about 120 pounds. Ridley was last seen wearing a navy blue shirt, tan khaki pants, and multicolored boots. If you have information on her whereabouts, you are asked to call police at 301-749-4901. Well, graduates donned their caps and gowns today as Bowie State University held its winter commencement ceremony. Friends and family packed the A.C. Jordan Arena to witness their loved ones receiving degrees.
Students, soon-to-be graduates, you did it. Even after spending half of your college matriculation in the middle of a global pandemic and so many other challenges, but we hope opportunities that you have shared with friends and classmates along the way. You persevered and made it to this special day.
Today is a celebration of you and your accomplishments. Today, you will walk the stage and enter a world of endless possibilities. This is the beginning of a new era for you. So celebrate today because the real work is about to start.
471 students graduated in today's commencement ceremony. And we continue our sit-down conversation tonight with retired Chief Administrative Judge Sheila Tillerson Adams. Under Tillerson Adams' leadership, Prince George's has the most problem-solving courts than any other jurisdiction in the state. They include Veterans Court, Juvenile Drug Court, and Adult Drug Court, among others. Tillerson Adams spoke to us about a man who had gone through drug court after spending much of his life behind bars.
And he went to the first rehab center, and they wanted to send him back to jail after the first week, not because he relapsed, but because he was flirting with the young ladies in the rehab center. He'd been in jail, locked up for 8 years, so I wasn't going to send him back to jail for that. And so the next rehab center was the same thing. He was flirting with the counselor this time. So it was a constant hand-holding. But make a long story short, I eventually got him in my adult problem-solving court, drug court. He went through that program. He got jobs. He graduated. He now is a father raising a daughter in our community, making a difference. And there's story after story after story about people in our community that have been through our problem-solving courts. And if we had not taken the time and just established the resources they need to turn their lives around, families wouldn't be together, communities wouldn't be together, and they would not be making an impact in our community.
Tillerson Adams retires at the end of the month. We now know the name of the man who was fatally shot at a Temple Hills nightclub yesterday. The victim has been identified as 26-year-old Christopher Wilson. Officers were called to the Hangar Club located at the 6400 block of Old Branch Avenue early Wednesday morning. Police found Wilson outside the club suffering from gunshot wounds. Wilson died later at a hospital. Anyone with information about the incident is urged to contact police. And still to come on CTV's News Tonight, a big signing day for the Maryland Terrapins football program. Stay with us for the details.
And is this with the doctor or is this with the nurse practitioner? Fantastic. Dad, lunch. Got some soup for you.
You are loved.
Oh, you... Look at those freckles.
This was very much.
You are valued. You are strong. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving.
Good evening and welcome back. A Prince George's lawmaker is chosen to replace longtime committee chair Dolores Kelly of Baltimore County, who's retiring. Senate President Pro Tem Melanie Griffith will now head the Senate Finance Committee. Griffith will have jurisdiction over all health and alcoholic beverages legislation. Now, under a new restructuring plan put forth by Senate President Bill Ferguson, Ferguson also chose Senator Brian Feldman to head the new Committee on Education, Energy, and the Environment, or EEE. Formerly known as the Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs Committee, it has been rebranded to include all energy and utilities-related legislation. Well, funds from a bipartisan federal infrastructure bill, which passed into law over a year ago, are now coming down the pipeline. EPA Regional Administrator Admin Ortiz says that Maryland is expected to receive billions of dollars over 5 years to build or repair everything from transportation infrastructure to reliable high-speed internet. The new law also deals with climate change impacts, extreme weather events, and cyber attacks.
Are going to be able to compete, counties and at a state level, to help make sure that our water systems are safe and clean, that we have more money to clean up brownfields and toxic waste sites, and also that we're able to control air pollution, both from industry and from vehicles that are not compliant. So across the board, it will be a game changer for making our communities and Prince George's County and the whole region a little bit healthier.
The $65 billion infrastructure bill was signed into law on November 15th of 2021. All right, sports fans, the University of Maryland football team began their early signing period yesterday and got a number of quality recruits. The Terps signed 24 players. Of the 24 players who committed to the UMD, 9 are among the top 35 players in the state, and 3 are 4-star recruits in the ESPN ranking. Head coach Mike Loxley says the DMV area is always a target for recruits.
Once I got into coaching, I made a commitment that wherever I am, I'm going to recruit this DMV area, this metro area specifically, because I knew that there are some players there that are really talented players. And I think it's starting to show with when you're looking across the country and see us have 4 and 5 teams ranked in the national high school top 25. You look at our youth football programs that have excelled and go and play and win championships, that we've really got some good football.
Among the recruiting class, 3 hail from Prince George's County, including Michael Norman from Wise High School and Danielle Wingate and Alex Moore from St. Vincent Pallotti High School. Let's get a quick check now on our weather forecast, 3-day weather forecast that is. Tonight, rain will continue while temps drop around 37 degrees. Tomorrow, a chance of snow with temps falling as low as 16 degrees by 5 p.m. with wind chill values as low as -2. Get that. Tomorrow night, the snow should clear out, but still be mindful of the very low temperatures. Wind chill values are expected to be as low as -5 degrees. Saturday and Sunday, expect clear skies with temperatures ranging between the mid-teens and the high 20s. That's your CTV News Update. I'm Taylor Thomas. Good night.